This isn't a trail, man. Dude, I'm gonna get lost. It can be scary, man. I may be mistaken, but that looks like a bear track. Welcome back to BTV and the Colorado series, everyone. A spontaneous and grueling 3-day adventure to and around the great state of Colorado. Dude, I didn't even know where I'm going, man. After driving for 28 hours all the way from South Carolina, I finally made it to Colorado. My mission? Wake up in Buena Vista and drive 20 minutes west to Mount Yale, a 14,200-foot mountain in the Rockies. Hike through the snow and wind all by myself in a strange place, and stand atop my first Colorado 14er, hopefully without getting lost. Hartenstein Lake this way. Huh. Will I make it? I wanted to get an early start this morning because I had no clue how long it might take me to climb a 14,000-foot mountain. So I got up at 4 a.m. in near freezing weather and got dressed for the day, putting on layers which soon I'd find would be too many, and spent a good deal of time packing up and warming up the car. After all the car trouble on my drive here, I was relieved to get it started and running. Soon I was on my way, headed about 20 minutes west toward Denny Creek Trailhead. That is, if I could find my way there. Unfortunately, I had no cell service. But no need to worry. I had brought a road map and navigated my way out of the little neighborhood in Buena Vista and into a good paved road. I turned west onto Highway 306 and kept driving until I saw the sign for Denny Creek Trailhead. About 15 minutes, we should come up to Denny Creek Trailhead, which is the trail that summits Mount Yale. At first, I thought I must have missed it, but kept on and eventually came to an open parking lot right off the road. Okay. So we're here. It's... what time is it? About 6:30. So I don't think the sun comes up until 7:30. So I might wait just a little bit, and I'm gonna pack my food, get everything ready, and then start hiking. I am gonna look at the sign up here, see what that says. I took some time exploring the area and reading the signs whilst waiting for the sun to rise. So I think this just goes to this random building over here. There's some sort of building. See if there's a sign. So, Mount Yale. I had made it to Mount Yale, the base of this beautiful and impressive hill, bigger than any hill I'd yet climbed. With about 4,400 feet of elevation gain and only about 5 miles to the top, the trail would wander its way atop a rocky peak and back down again. It seemed easy in my ignorant mind, and wouldn't be so bad if I managed to stay on track, but for now, I had other things on my mind. My stress and homesickness already piled high, even more came to join the party. My check engine light came on to ruin the mood, so there wasn't much I could do if anything went wrong. So I tried my best to remain calm, which never seemed to help, and packed my things and began the journey to the top. In the beginning, I saw half a dozen people or more at the start of the trail, and I'd find myself completely alone for unknown reasons at the time. But for now, the steep incline of this gravelly road and high elevation pierced my lungs. Ooh, I'm tired. The first quarter mile is 300 feet of elevation, and it's gets more mellow.
after that.
Now was the warm-up. Waking up my body and climbing the steepest portion of the trail except for the end, and waiting for the sun to fully rise so I could shed layers and admire the beauty of this wonderful place.
Oh, shoot. Oh, this sucks. It's hot.
I felt hot and tired already, and the day had only just begun, so I reminded myself to slow down since I'd be out here for who knows how long.
Slow down. That hard beginning segment is over. A lot flatter now, a lot easier. Didn't feel like a quarter mile. A lot better now. Very nice. First snow.
Only around 45 minutes had passed, and I started seeing the sunshine on the nearby mountains. I thought maybe this mountain here was Mount Yale, but it was too far to the left, so it couldn't be it, so I continued on, gravel passing underfoot, and fellow Birdians enjoying the crisp air. Rocks scattered the trail, and I began to increase in temperature, and layers were shed. After about 20 minutes of dealing with my pack, I was again on my way, hiking 5 easy miles to the top through dense wooded firs and past the occasional viewpoint. This mountain here, I thought at first was it, but it didn't quite make sense. The way it was off to the complete other side of the trail, and it didn't seem quite high enough. The trail passed many a tree and stream, and this mountain here I thought surely was it, but as I progressed I found I wasn't sure. It was off to the right like it needed to be, but something seemed off. It just wasn't in the right place. The path got higher and the forest started to thin, and the mountains revealed themselves in the golden morning light. I felt now I had finally made it properly to the mountains, alone and alone. The constant realization that I was on my own, 1,800 miles from home and 2 full days' drive away, many times with no way to contact my family and a possible car that might explode. I was very worried. This year had been full of travel, and this was the last big journey until next year. I was burned out, to say the least, and I wasn't necessarily in the mood for such an exhausting trip. But I came too far now, hiking my way up my first Colorado 14er. I felt all right. I put my head down and continued. The thought of a high rocky peak pulled me along.
I mean, that looks like more than 5 miles. I don't know. It could be. So I think it is. This. Huh. Interesting. Browns Pass. Brown Pass that way. Hartenstein Lake this way. Huh. Well, that's a dilemma. Alright, well now I'm confused, huh? Man, I don't know. I mean, this has got to be the mountain, man. I mean, this trail looks like these people don't know where they're going. There's no trail here. Going back. And this isn't a trail, man. Like, it's not well defined, man. Gotta be this Brown's Pass. I don't know, I think it's maybe just two different routes that goes towards the summit. I really don't know. Dude, what the heck? Make a wrong freaking turn. Dude, I'm gonna get lost, man. Oh, you know what? I think that's the mountain. Yeah, it's on the complete other side, because I was looking at the mountain over there. That makes sense now, from that angle. Alright. Okay, now I'm relieved, because we're headed that way. Yeah. Alright. Still, what? That's 3 miles away? Can't be. 2.5, 3.5.
So what had happened was at some point along the first mile or so of the trail, I missed a very crucial sign pointing right and up a steep hill, the sign to Mount Yale, and found myself unknowingly heading deeper into the bush. I was headed towards Brown's Pass. I had made the wrong turn. All those people I saw this morning were now on another trail, so I was truly on my own and didn't even know it. I carried on, unknowingly headed further and further away from my destination and deeper into wilderness, battling my mind in increasing levels of snow.
Oh shit, I'm slipping, man, I'm slipping so hard.
The trail wandered its way along the base of a large mountain to my left. Rocks scattered the ground as well, which concerned me. The thought of a falling rock hitting me and blasting an ankle out of place worried me considerably less than slipping on ice and cracking my skull open, left for dead and bleeding out alone by a tree. The trail then started zigzagging, which was about time. I had already gone what felt like at least a couple miles and was wondering when I'd start making some serious elevation. This mountain here off to my right I was pretty convinced was it, but was slightly confused at the distance. But what other mountain could it be, besides this obvious behemoth right in front of me? Well, a lot actually. This is the mountain I was looking at, a fairly small mountain compared to the one I was aiming for, which sneakily hid itself from behind this current mountain I was looking at. No wonder I couldn't see it. Well, never mind that anyways. I was headed somewhere random I didn't know I was headed. The forest carried on as the sun was high in the sky, warming me as I hiked quicker and quicker, excited yet a little nervous at a possible dangerous summit ahead of me. The woods opened up finally, and there, right in front of me, was this massive mountain I thought was Mount Yale.
Yeah, this is Mount Yale. Wow.
Like an idiot, I kept going.
I mean, I'm looking at the trees and how far they go. Doesn't look that bad.
The trail took me right over North Fork Denny Creek, which remained on my side for just a short little ways. Low, dense brush blanketed either side of the trail, and the tree line faded away, and I could start to see how high up I really was. These are the views I came here for, the mountains I had been dreaming of. And now I was well on my way to the top of one, or up at least.
It's gonna be hard, man. Looks like Everest. Huh. Holy crap, man. So we're going up and around and up.
Actually, no. That would have led me off the path and east, up the strange mountain I'd been looking at all day. But I was headed north, up to Brown's Pass. Beyond that, somewhere completely different altogether. I continued on nonetheless, the trees nearly below me entirely, and the views growing even more stunning. But first, a few more of these low deciduous plants and last handful of trees before I was up and above and doing some serious climbing. I was still having doubts as well if this was the right path.
Seems like it's more than 5 miles.
Whether I was heading up that mountain or not, I knew I'd be climbing up something before the day was over. I drove for 2 days to do this, and I was going to make it happen. Finally, I made it past the last remaining shrubs and trees and into the barren, high-altitude grasses and rocky cliffs, making my way closer and closer to Brown's Pass. On the top of the hill, a little sign enticed me. I was waiting to read something like Mount Yale this way, but instead I got Texas Creek and Croanic Lake. Anyways. So here where I stood was Brown's Pass, but the sign clearly stated, Texas Creek to the north and Croanic Lake to the east. Well, the path to the lake clearly went up, and that's what I wanted, so I went up.
It can be scary, man.
The trail went up, and my spirits did too. I was on a great adventure and getting closer to the top of my first 14,000-foot mountain. The trail followed along the edge of this cliff, more snow appearing and the mountain range coming more into view. Soon the trail began to zigzag, and the cliffs got steeper, and I thought of home, my family, and my girlfriend. I thought about this trip and how much I had left. I had planned 3 days total of hiking, exploring different areas of Colorado. The plan after this was to drive south to the Great Sands and hike its giant dunes. But in this state of mind, homesick and exhausted, stressed out about my car, and feeling alone without cell service. I began to second-guess my choices and plans, but I looked up and around at this great place, what I was doing, and that seemed to cheer me up enough to keep going. The trail zigzagged like normal, but instead of swinging back around to the south and up this current mountain I was climbing, it continued north around the backside. Where exactly, I wasn't sure, but somewhere into the unknown. Snow blanketed the landscape as I made my way up. I pretty much figured at this point that I had probably made a wrong turn somewhere or something. How, I wasn't sure. But I hadn't seen anyone for a long time, and it was hard to tell if any tracks were left by humans in the snow. It seems at times there were, but they were probably days old.
I feel like these are old footprints. I may be mistaken, but that looks like a bear track.
I don't know why I thought that at the time. I'm pretty sure bears don't go up that high for no reason. But I was pretty much completely alone except for any small rodents potentially running around. There were moments too when the trail was hidden underneath the snow and I questioned if I was even on one or not. The steep bank to my left scared me too, but I trudged on, struggling to breathe and eat at the same time. The snow turned to grass and I came to this sign.
Yeah, I have no idea what that says.
Before the landscape turned back to frozen tundra. To be honest, I was genuinely quite afraid. Being all the way up here by myself and with no way to contact help. Traversing a snowy pass deep in the bush. And uncertain of what came next or where I might find myself in the coming miles.
All right. Well, I hope I'm going the right way. So my guess would be I go over there and then up the backside. And that's the mountain. We'll see. Oh, you know what? I think that's Mount Yale. You know what? I have no clue where I am. This has got to be Mount Yale.
I was dead wrong.
Right up there. You know, I think from pictures that looks, you know, I don't know, all these mountains look similar right here.
That mountain there, that was Mount Yale.
All right. Woo! Yeah, there's the trail.
Mount Yale right there in front of me and not even knowing it, I trudged on through the wind and straight to this rocky peak ahead of me. In all actuality, this mountain here had no name. It was a random peak sitting alone by itself with no actual trail leading up it. The trail I was on would eventually turn the other way and head down to Crowaneck Lake.
Service. I got a text.
No one ended up answering, but the fact that I got a text boosted my spirits and I didn't feel quite so alone anymore.
Phew. Second one untied. So we're going down again, and I hope I didn't make another mistake and I'm actually not going to the summit, because if we go too much further this way, I'm going to turn back. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it, the trail goes right down. Dude, I don't even know where I'm going, man. Yeah, because I can see the trail goes down there, and I assume it goes along that ridge. I mean, it could come back up, but I don't know why. So I don't know. So I think I'm just gonna turn back and see if I can find a way up this mountain. I don't even know if it's Mount Yale. I don't know what mountain it is. But I'm gonna climb it, so. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know where I am. So I think if I can, I'm gonna go back canoe right here, see if I can find my way up. Because I mean, the fact that that goes all the way back down, I mean, that seems like it's more than 5 miles. Because the trailhead, it said it was only like 4.6 one way. I mean, it could be it, but I don't know. Sure. And that could explain the fact that I'm not seeing many tracks, human tracks. Except now, I've seen a few the past half a mile. So I just came across this, and it looks like a slight trail. So this actually might be it.
What a hopeless idiot.
But the fact that there's this big trail, I don't know. Looks like I'm on a trail now for sure. Spoke too soon, I'm not sure. It's so hard to tell if I'm on a trail or not. Like, I mean, this could be one.
Hopelessly confused where I was at the time,
Yeah, I don't know.
I made my way off trail and up the nameless peak in the distance. But first, some of the strongest wind I'd ever experienced. After climbing the initial cliff toward the nameless peak, I came across the windiest pass yet.
Nah, I don't think this is a 14er, man. I mean, that's gotta be it.
Finally, something I said was correct.
That really has to be it. But I can't believe it's just 5 miles, that's why I'm confused.
At this point, it had to have been at least 5 miles or more that I hiked. this point, I was beginning the final climb toward the summit, making it to the base of a 100-meter boulder field. I needed to take extra care when climbing this section, because slipping and spraining an ankle, or worse, hitting my head out here with no service and no people would be a terrible thing.
Almost there.
I had driven nearly 2,000 miles in 2 days to get here, and I had hiked all day through snow and wind, getting lost along the way. And I made it. Maybe not to the top of Mount Yale in my first 14er, which I now understood lay just across from me. But I still made it to the top of a Colorado peak, high up in the Rockies and by myself in the purity of the wilderness, fully exposed to the elements. I looked off into the mountains, looking back at the mountain pass I had trudged here on, feeling like I was in a faraway place on a grand adventure. This was just the beginning, I could tell. Just the beginning to a life of grand journeys, climbing mountains and wandering through deserts. But as I climbed back down, hiking back to my car, feeling alone and scared, stressed out about my car potentially breaking down, and just exhausted from all that had taken place, I knew it was time to go home. But I didn't feel sad. I was excited. I knew I'd be back soon to climb more mountains and journey through the bush in faraway lands. Failing, if you can call it that, to climb Mount Yale and finish my trip was just another reason to come back, and I'd be back soon.
Yeah, so I did miss it. So I either went to Hartenstein Lake or Browns Pass. Probably Browns Pass. And Mount Yale is that way. So I think I did Browns Pass. Okay, I didn't do Mount Yale. Alright, well that's confirmed.